Hi, Panda here. In this video I'm going to explain how an activity called the Agency in the Crew 2 felt very similar. Yes, it's very similar to 2007's Stuntman Ignition by THQ, and we're going to discuss that in this video. Let's find out more. So the basic premise in 2007's Stuntman Ignition by THQ is that you're given these different movie sets and a film director tells you like, hey, I want you to drift at this corner, jump over this fire, and you basically got to perform these actions. Now if you can link the actions up by getting close to like objects in the environment or doing a wheelie if you're on a motorbike, then you can chain these all into one mega score and get a bit like a multiplier going up. So that's kind of the basics there. There's a range of vehicles, environments, and different locations. Now what I noticed when I played Crew 2's Agency mode, this mode I played it through and I was like, wait a minute, this is similar. You get points for going near objects, there's ramps, it's kind of done like a film set and acts like a film set, like there's buildings that are destroyed and you've got to go through. So let's talk some more about that. So to find this mode in the Crew 2, you need to go to Activities, Motor Flicks, the Agency, and then there's a list of different ones there, some with cars, some with bikes. So on screen I'm going to show some footage comparing both Stuntman Ignition and the Crew 2's Agency mode. Now the things you're going to notice that are similar, there's loads of different jumps, you're getting points for jumps, you're getting points for near misses, going near the building and stuff. There are definitely points for hitting certain objects. In the Crew 2 there was definitely more objects laid around randomly for you to hit than it say there is in Stuntman Ignition. And there's also chaining. This is like linking the different moves, the drifts, the hitting the objects, the jumps, and drifting and trying to link all these together to get a mega multiplier. Now the differences. There's quite a few differences. The Stuntman Ignition is definitely a lot more focused on which stunts it wants you to do, when to do them, and makes it feel like a more proper film set, because at the end you get to watch a replay and it looks more like a movie. Whereas the Crew 2 is a little bit more loose. What is definitely different is that in the Crew 2's version, you don't really get instructions. It's kind of just like, score this many points, score 20,000 points in 3 minutes. It's like a normal race, like you get the exact same like directions, like, hey, here's some arrows here. Now there are multiple routes though in the Crew 2 version. You could like, oh, I'll take this ramp on the left and do this jump, or take the one on the right and go through an airplane, or go off this other ramp. Do I want to do jumps? Do I want to do hitting objects over? So those are different. Now in Stuntman 2, if you make 5 mistakes, boom, it's game over. You got to do the level again. The Crew 2, there is no mistakes. Unless you hit so many objects like keep ramming into a car and slowing down and you run out of time. Running out of time is your only penalty. So the Crew 2 focuses a lot on score and finish it in time. Whereas Stuntman 2 kind of has a time limit, because if you don't make it to the next movie set piece objective, like an explosion or a jump in time, the objective turns red and you lose out on that multiplier, and sometimes you fall too far behind. It's the end of the film for you. So those are the main differences and similarities. You can see in the gameplay here, obviously Stuntman 2 and the Crew 2 have some various differences and just like how they feel and how they play. Stuntman levels aren't particularly long, but they are more precise about what you want doing. The Crew 2, it's like, hey, do you want a fun race but without having to race other cars? Do you want objectives? Now there's a lot of more modes in the Crew 2 than there is in Stuntman Ignition. Stuntman Ignition has some multiplayer online. Unfortunately there's not many people playing. It does have like online races, but its main mode is these set pieces getting the score. Whereas the Crew 2 obviously has a lot more modes. They've added like a police mode, like the takedown mode in Burnout Paradise. They've added races, you can race in boats, bikes, aeroplanes. So the Crew 2 overall is a bigger package, but the main focus in this video I wanted to show you was just how similar this Agency mode in Crew 2. Now it's not spot on and it's nowhere near as like polished as Stuntman Ignition's movie experiences, but it was interesting to see Ubisoft's take and a fun little extra in the Crew 2. So definitely worth checking out. If you're a fan of Stuntman Ignition, I would say check out this mode in Crew 2. It's not particularly long because there's not many of the tracks in that mode. Obviously the main mode in the Crew 2 is it's racing. so there's your standard races there. But I'd go and check it out. On bonus note, I should say, this does make me want a new Stuntman game. So if you're listening, whoever's got the Stuntman license, we would love to see a new one. So there you go, those are some similarities and differences between the Crew 2's agency mode and Stuntman Ignition. As always, thank you for watching, remember to like and subscribe, and thank you to our patrons and everyone else who's donated. We really do appreciate the support, and there's more information in the links below, and we'll see you next time. Bye!